Hey everybody, it's Emma Lightning, and welcome to another PSA review. As you can tell, this is not a themed review like my usual sort of PSA reviews are. This one, we're actually going to be focusing on a specific organization, which of course, as you can see from the title, is the Truth organization. They are advocates against tobacco use, especially in younger people, and more recently, they've had a campaign against opioid addiction, which is really interesting, but today we're going to be focusing on their tobacco and smoking ads. And they're all pretty famous. I'm sure most of you will have seen at least one of them. So I can't say I remember exactly the first time I saw one of Truth's PSAs, but I do think it was on TV, so it was let's call it an organic first viewing. But their PSAs always made quite the impression due to their iconic orange logo and slightly obnoxious buzzer sound effect. But even more so because of their very call-out posty kind of style of ads. And what I mean by that is one of their main focuses is sort of exposing the shadiness of big tobacco companies by digging up weird and sleazy quotes from them. And I don't know why this is, but the executives of big tobacco companies seem to have a particularly nasty vendetta against babies for some reason. And that seems as good a place to start as any, so let's take a look at those.
In 1971, when one tobacco executive was reminded that smoking could lead to underweight babies, he said some women would prefer smaller babies.
I don't know about you guys, but I find the small babies ad kind of hilarious.
Healthy babies are just no fun. Eat too much and they weigh a ton. It's really such a shame they have to grow.
The fact that somebody actually went on record saying that is just so absurd. You can't really do much besides laugh in horror at it.
What?
These are a couple of more lighthearted ads from The Truth, actually. Although they did use the crawl quote, the babies learn to crawl quote in a separate PSA, and it is considerably more creepy. And don't quote me on this, but I wouldn't be surprised if the animated one was made in response to people complaining about the one with the toy babies. Personally, I like the animated one better. Truth does kind of have a knack for animation in their PSAs. And speaking of that... Now, if you watched my quick little review of the What the Fuck PSAs, then you probably heard my thoughts on the Truth's Claymation PSA Giant. And if you haven't seen that one, I won't ruin it for you, but it's really something. But that wasn't Truth's only animated ad that illustrated some very questionable musings of tobacco executives. We also have this little 15-second treat, and it really flexes their ability to give unsuspecting kids nightmares. Unfortunately, I think this one mostly just confused people based on the comments of the video of the Truth's official YouTube channel. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of this one either. I think they've done much more powerful and hard-hitting ads without all this. And to prove that less is more, let's look at two of their simplest and most iconic ads.
We're going to leave this here for you so you can see what 1,200 people actually look like.
Similar premises for these, but they're both equally good and clear in their message. 1200 came out relatively early, I think it was about 2003, and Body Bags was actually one of their first ads. I believe it aired in 2000, which is right about when The Truth started. And just by looking at their website, you can see they're still going strong with their public appearances. They have a group known as what they call the Truth Riders. And from what I can tell, they basically travel across the country and go to different festivals and events to promote their cause. And their big thing right now is encouraging young people to be the generation that ends smoking. They have their #FinishIt campaign that started in 2014. And I'm not here to start quoting paragraphs from their website, but it is pretty interesting, so I would recommend going to check it out. Alright, I know what you're thinking. These PSAs are good and all, but when can we get some musical numbers up in here? Well, you're in luck, because Truth has not one, but two extremely catchy and memorable musical ads.
Chocolate, vanilla, and cinnamon. Apple, honey, and berry blend. Strawberry, wildberry, tangerine. Mango, raspberry, wintergreen.
These are both in the candid style of the previous two. They feature actual people affected by tobacco-related diseases. They're advocating against tobacco use in front of unsuspecting people in the street. And, of course, the result is pretty unforgettable. I think a lot of you might know these ads, but what you might not know, and what I actually didn't know until I was researching for this video, there are actually short interviews with the singers from both of these ads. And you can find more of them on the Truth's YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description. I'm doing a lot of promos for these guys' YouTube channel in this video, I've noticed.
Why do they make tobacco taste sweet?
Now, I don't want it to seem like I'm holding Truth's PSAs up on a pedestal or anything. Not every single one of them is a winner. Some of them are actually kind of, well, you know, I don't like this word, but cringy. They're cringy.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Can I bum a cig?
You're a smoker?
No, I never even bought my own pack.
It's a trap.
I can't blame them for trying to appeal to young people, since that's pretty much their entire purpose. But I think we all know that it's a very tricky formula to get right. Youth culture, especially internet youth culture, it dates very, very quickly. And even if you're trying to be ironic, like I think they might be here, it doesn't quite work.
It's a trap!
Out of these two ads, I think the cat one is a little bit better since it actually has more of a focus. And let's face it, cat videos are always going to be pretty ubiquitous, but it's obviously still trying to pander a little bit. I definitely appreciate their message, since I think the idea of pets being harmed by secondhand smoke isn't really addressed all that much. But still, I think we can all agree that they need to stick to original content and not so much the memes.
These are so gross. I know. Well, why don't you guys try this? What is it? It's made with natural emollients from the rainforest. Burns a little. It's just doing its job. Wow, I can feel it working already. It really is great. You guys, it's really burning.
So I was debating on whether or not to do like a fake over-the-top kind of reaction to this set, but if you saw my PSA React episode where my friends react to sort of shocking PSAs, obviously I've seen these before. Still though, they're pretty wild. But are they good? That's up to the viewer, I think. As my friends pointed out, the message is very blink and you'll miss it, which I definitely agree with that. And it's not the best thing, especially when you're using shock tactics like these. And don't get me wrong, personally, I'm okay with a little bit of violence as a shock tactic in PSAs if you're trying to get a good message across. Although I'm sure these weren't on TV for very long. I'm sure people complained about these. But then again, the idea of blowing teenagers up really isn't all that creative anymore. What else can I say? So that wraps up my review of the Truth's ads for now. There are so many ads from these guys that I could probably do a part 2 of this video if you guys were interested in seeing that. But yeah, I had fun looking into this one. If you want me to do a review of like Thinks ads, or maybe like the Prevent It WorkSafe ones, or is WorkSafe, I think WorkSafe and Prevent It are actually two different companies, but I might do a work safety PSA review pretty soon because, oh, we all know about those. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought, and let me know what your favorite Truth PSA is, or if you've seen any that I didn't mention and you thought I should have mentioned. If you want to make the subscribe happy, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!